Today is a day I can say I'm very happy that I can still be here. And I'm very happy that the Lord has actually changed my life. And today particularly, things feel off recently. Like the enemy has been doubling down to make me believe that the change isn't true. But I was just looking back. I was just looking back into my past and remembering all of the things I've been through. And you may not even see it because of literally who Jesus is in me. The ideas that I get, the truth that I get isn't from me. It's actually from Jesus. I don't have to know it all. I just need to know the one who knows it all. And I'm going to list some things that used to be me, the things I used to go through, to show you it's possible. I mean, you'll be able to change and get out of, like, the hurt and the bad, crazy stuff. Whenever I was, like, 6, I was introduced into grown-up activities at a young age by family friends, and that changed my mental. I actually forgot that any of that stuff happened until I was, like, 12. And I had a track meet one day, and I don't know if you know, when you run, you get a thing called a runner's high, and I beat the 800, and I was in the districts, and I had a runner's high because I ran the best I ever had, and I was happy I got a medal. And I just remembered, like, what happened to me, and I just started telling my mom. My parents were divorced. They never got along. I had to go back and forth every week, which wasn't that bad. But we also had bad money. We didn't have any, money. We were kind of poor. And I lived in a trailer home for, half of my childhood. I have 4 siblings. And it was literally, one room, a pull-out couch. I had to watch my parents struggle all the time, not knowing if they were going to be able to pay rent or feed us or even make a better life for us. I had such bad friends, fake friends, bad influences my whole life. And part of it was because I was kind of raised up that way. And I don't blame my family, I don't blame my friends or anything, but I do know people act different under stress. So many times I would just kind of pray that the Lord would give me cancer or just take me out of the world. I would just literally be praying. Sometimes I'd feel paralyzed, out of body, and just, faking it all. And, I kind of was just giving up. And I remember praying one night and saying, Lord, I literally can't take it anymore. But I didn't want to kill myself because, honestly, I didn't even know how I would do that. But I know I couldn't take it anymore, and I said, Lord, just change something. If you're actually real, change something so this can at least be bearable. I started getting into a bunch of shoplifting. From a young age, I was introduced by somebody who called me their best friend but turned their back on me and just kind of left our friendship. But after being friends for so long, 5 years, we grew up from elementary together into high school freshman year. But then I got into a bad habit of doing it because, it gave me the things I needed. I could get clothes instead of being kind of made fun of for the clothes that I wore. I could get makeup so I could hide my acne. I could get body wash. I could get hair products. And I actually ended up getting closer to the Lord, and He did show Himself to me. But then things got worse because I was just completely in a bad environment. I was pretty much being a therapist for somebody in my family who's an adult that was introduced into our life, and I would constantly have to be there for them. And this isn't bashing anybody, this is just saying what I had to go through, things I never really tell anyone, but the Lord brought me through it all, and He gave me the strength to keep on going, to even do what I do today and help others. I don't get wisdom from myself because I used to be foolish. I used to be the bully. And I wasn't like actually cruel, but I would just make jokes about everybody else because I was an empty shell. And I asked the Lord to please change me. I hated making fun of people because it wasn't me, but a lot of the friends I was surrounded with, that's what they did, and I wanted to fit in. So then he changed me, and I became really quiet, and I didn't talk to anybody, and I kind of liked it that way. But then freshman year, I started to develop a bad anxiety. I don't know where it really stemmed from. Maybe it was because I was gaining emotional intelligence and realizing what really happened to me in the past whenever I was like 6. But then I started like twitching and shaking and not being able to like make friends easily. I've been alone most of my life, but whenever I did make friends, they always used me. And I guess since I look pretty, people just think I had it all figured out, so I just had to kind of like pretend like everything was okay because I was never validated. I kept wanting a therapist or a psychiatrist for years, like begging my parents, but they didn't have money, and the Medicaid, and they just didn't have the time to even set up an appointment like that. But whenever I finally did get one, it didn't help. And I did end up getting one therapist that did help me, but it's honestly because I was in the point of my life where I could even really accept help to begin with. Whenever I was 14, I had my first drink with that same best friend that we kind of just faded apart and whatever, I don't know, man. And then after that, I started taking alcohol from my mom and taking it to school and drinking it so that I could bear it and just be myself without having to fit in anymore. I could just, but then it just started to get unbearable because I was like, no way, this is my life. I was living at third person. I ended up making friends with this one girl that I was family friends with, where I'm not gonna get too much into this, but she ended up drugging me because she gave me weed gummies, 3 edibles on my homecoming night, and I kind of blacked out. It felt like it, but I was in the same, it just was so bad and almost ruined my first homecoming night. And she liked my brothers, so she basically did this so that she knew her parents would say, you can't go unless your older brother goes. And since her older brother was best friends with my older brother, he would have to go with us. And then when I got there, I invited friends to come with me, and the whole time she was like, I'm so high. I literally don't feel like talking to anybody. Can we just leave? And forced me to abandon my friends. And then they thought that I just abandoned them because I was a rude person. And then they, I tried to explain it, but I couldn't tell them I was drugged because that literally sounds like a lie. So I was like, something came up, I'm really sorry. And she was like, yeah, right, something came up. And I was like, man, losing my friend, losing my reputation because of that moment. And I've just had a lot of scenarios like that. I invited this one girl over to my house. I thought she was cool, but honestly, she wasn't. I was just brainwashed, and I felt like I couldn't find any other better friends. I was honestly compromising. Came over to my house on Halloween. We had plans. Next thing I know, her and my oldest brother went to a room, did stuff, left right after, and then now I hear her talking bad about me for some reason, in the class, and I have these girls giving me bad looks. High school experience was bad, middle school experience was worse, somehow. Fast forwards, my next best friend, we ended up almost having a threesome with my ex, and I chickened out. We were really high, and let's just say I never wanted to do it. But once again, I don't even know what the heck my brain was going through. I say all of this to say that it's not impossible to get out of the situation you're in. It's only impossible when you think that it's because of you that gets you out of it. Jesus is what got me out of it.